Namaskar, my dear brothers and sisters. As you know, the entire human race is at risk. Different news channels, social media has already started propagating about the destruction or total annihilation of human civilization. Different foretellers have forecasted or predicted long before about the destruction of the human race. So people are scared. But today, I want to bring an optimistic thoughts, not only the thoughts, which will eliminate or remove the fear from the human mind. I want to narrate the thoughts of Shri Ananda Murti jee. I want to narrate the holy and the pious, the words of Baba Shri Ananda Murti jee. He has already said that modern minds are often perplexed by the fear and doubt of the extinction of the human race within a short period. People deem that civilization is passing through a very critical phase and there is no possible escape from its total annihilation. But this cannot happen, Baba Ananda Murti said. Baba says, both individuals and society are dependent on the factors for the existence. That is Asti, Bhati and Ananda. Dwelling place, food, clothing, education and medical facilities are the sine qua non for existence or for astitva. The term bhati means expansion or development and progress. The mere earthworm, for instance, has existed for hundreds of millions of years. Yet, it doesn't signify existence in the true sense of the term. That is to say, there has to be expansion, that is called bhati, progress and development. Eating and drinking and being merry cannot represent a true life. It would be an encumbrance, a boredom. For the all-round development of an individual or a society, a goal is needed. But for this determined goal, the direction and purpose of development will remain confused. A bud blooms into a flower. This is what we may call its development. The purpose of bhati or development is the attainment of bliss, Ananda. The term Ananda connotes infinite happiness. the equipoise of pleasure and pain, the perfect mental peace. The absence of any of the factors may cause a great consternation or convulsion in individual or social life. The earth came into existence tens of millions of years ago, though from the archaeological point of view, it is still in its infancy. One day or the other, it is bound to meet its Waterloo. This will naturally mean the extinction of the human race. Is it so? The destruction of a particular planet or solar system does not mean the end of the human race. There are numerous other stars and planets in the universe. With further development of science and by the help of the interplanetary rocket systems, human will move to other planets. What is a dream today will become reality tomorrow. It is the inherent desire of an individual and the collective body which will take a concrete shape. It was an age-old desire of human being to fly in the sky like birds. The aeroplane was a product of the desire. Desire is the mother of action. In coming days, you will see such a rocket which may enable human being to travel to other planets. And if one day these planets and stars also perish, people will move to other planets. It may also be argued that a day may come when, due to constant radiation of heat and light, the temperature of the entire universe may become the same. That is, the thermal death of universe may occur. In the absence of external heat, the universe may cease to exist. This means that humanity will also perish, but it cannot happen. There cannot be a thermal death of this universe. The solidification of the object will result in Jadaspota. Tremendous heat will be released due to the Jadaspota or exploding a part of a particular planet. A new galaxy and stars will be formed out of it. There is therefore no cause to fear. The earth may one day become extinct, but humanity cannot cease to exist. You can rest assured of existence. Numerous factors are needed for the development of group of people, but there are 6 most important factors. There should be a spiritual ideology in the life of both the individual and the collective body. much of your energy is misused due to the ignorance of your own self. And the destination towards which you are moving, this misuse of energy is bound to cause destruction. The second factor, second of 6, is for the progress of society is spiritual cult, sadhana process, intuitional practice. Everyone has got a physical structure. The problem with every individual is to produce more and more ectoplasmic stuff by the body and then to convert it into consciousness, pure consciousness. There should be a proper process for this conversion. A spiritual cult, that is sadhana, consists of the conversion of the 5 rudimental factors into ectoplasmic stuff and then into consciousness through a special scientific process. This is a process of metamorphosis. A spiritual cult, therefore, is indispensable. But only spiritual ideology and spiritual philosophy will not do. The third factor, which is blending up existence and expansion, that is asti and bhati, is a socio-economic theory. There should be a prior knowledge regarding the social structure, the distribution of wealth and its growth. For want of this knowledge, there cannot be a solid ground for the construction of social edifice. The fourth one is social outlook. All creatures in this manifest universe are the children of the same cosmic entity. They are progeny of the same supreme progenitor. Naturally, they are bound in a thread of a fraternal relationship. This is the central spirit. A socio-economic theory is of no use. But for this fraternal feeling, the implementation of theory is an impossibility without sadhana, without practical process, without intuitional practices. The fifth factor for the progress of society is for it to have its own scripture. There is a need for the company of elevated persons. There is called satsanga in all spheres of life. The authority whose content means satsanga for you is the shastra, that which elevates society by dint of shashan is called shastra, shashan, regulation, regulator, administrator, the guide. We should have a shastra of our own. The last but not the least important factor for the progress of society is for it to have its own preceptor. The entire society, entire social structure is dependent on these 6 factors. Bhati is meaningless expansion is meaningless without them. The weakness of one among them may jeopardize the very existence of Bhati. From ancient times, many groups of people came into existence. Some of them somehow managed to drag on. Some became extinct and some continued to exist in a metamorphosis form. About 1500 years ago, Arabs were very developed in science. But they were defeated by the Islamic way, for they were lacking in the 6 apposite factors, while the latter had at least 5 of them. The same is the case with Egypt. It was fully developed in the sphere of art, architecture, and science. It is the Egyptian who made the pyramids, which needed subtle geometrical knowledge. Moreover, they were also very advanced in the sphere of civilization. Despite this, they couldn't prevent their defeat. Today, Egypt is the Egyptian form of Arabic civilization. The cause of the death of its older form was the lack of those aforesaid 6 factors. The Christian or Roman civilization was also considerably higher on the ladder of development, yet they were lacking in social outlook. There were no feeling of fraternity and equality. The slave system was rampant and human feelings were on the wane. Furthermore, the lack of proper socio-economic theory generated a kind of fascist mentality in them. Those rolling in luxury and adverse to labor become indolent. Naturally, they were defeated by a stronger and more strenuous force. The destruction of the Greek and Chinese civilization was also caused by the lack of factors of Bhati, that is, expansion. The Aryans could defeat the indigenous Indians only due to the latter's lacking in the factors of Bhati, that is expansion. They had several factors of Bhati, but there was no preceptor, and hence they were defeated. In the future also, for want of 6 factors of Bhati, the existence of a concerned group of people is sure to happen. But where these factors are present, there the movement is toward Ananda or divine bliss. And due to this movement, of the chance of their elimination become nil. Such groups which have the 6 factors in the possession will be able to produce Sadvipras. Sadvipras are those who all efforts are directed toward the attainment of Ananda. They are also conscious of Asti and don't lack in 6 factors of Bhati. They are strong in morality and are always ready to wage a war against immoral activities. Tapasiddhi is an impossibility without the 6 factors of Bhati. Those who strictly adhere to the principle of morality are ensconced in tapa and are ready to wage a war against immorals are Sadvipra. Only those Sadvipras are saved from destruction and extinction who can work for the welfare of the human society. Therefore, It becomes the prime duty of all people to make themselves and others Sadvipras. By Sadvipra, it is not mean those who practice mala jap or pranayam. In pranayam also there are three stages. Purak means inhale, kumbhak which is to hold a breath, and rechak which is exhale. The pranayam of Sadvipra will be to inhale the entire universe in Purak, to keep it within the kumbhak, and then to exhale it after mixing it with their own greatness and goodwill in rechak. Sadvipras will wage a ceaseless war against immorality and all sorts of vociferous tendencies. Those who pose a dharmic but are bashful with the spirit of fight cannot be called Sadvipras. Shiva was great because his Trishula was always ready to strike at the immoralist. Krishna was great because his ways a war against the immoralist. They were not only Sadvipra, but also the parents of Sadvipra, the great Sadvipra. These Sadvipra are always busy in task of promoting the elevation of human being. When this earth will become old, they will lead human being to other planets by directing scientific endeavors. Some people fear that atom bomb, megaton bomb may one day cause the extinction of the human race. But such a fear are ill-conceived, meaningless. It is human intellect which is responsible for their production, and so naturally intellect is superior to its product. It may one day invent such weapons which may render ineffective even atom or megaton bombs. The cry for disarmament, therefore, will strengthen the destructive capacity of atom bombs. It may lead humanity towards its total annihilation. It is therefore a great obstruction and impediment in the progressive development of the human society. We need more powerful weapons than atom or hydrogen bombs. Sadvipra manufacture such a powerful weapons. If the human race is survived, if millions of innocent lives are to be saved, it becomes the duty of the apostle of peace to utilize more powerful weapons than what they have at present. Sadvipra will never lag behind in making scientific experiments. When the earth will become uninhabitable for human being, they will shift them to other planets. Food shortage is not a new problem. Only Sadvipra and not the politician and the experts can save the world from it. They will produce such tablets which will be substitutes for food grain. By making a useless fuss over problems, one will not ease the trouble. The spirit to fight against all odds alone can solve the problem confronting human being. March ahead and wage a war against all difficulties, every impediments. Victory is sure to embrace you. Difficulties and encumbrance cannot be more powerful than your capacity to solve them. You are the children of the great cosmic Baba entity. Be a Sadvipra and make others Sadvipra too, and save the human civilization. Human civilization is bright. Thank you. Namaskar.